Anyway, moving on, because we're running out of time. There's so much to cover. Thousands of prisoners are going to be released in September because the Conservatives used to just let them out after they'd served 50% of their sentence, but now they're going to let them out when they've served 40% of their sentence because there's going to be a total breakdown of law and order if we don't release everyone.
So, yeah, obviously me and you have talked about this a lot. It's actually interesting. So I read something on the news today. I can't remember what, because I read Apple News a lot where it gives you all the different newspapers, but they haven't decided 40% yet. It's between 40% and 43%. And it is also important to note that it excludes sexual crimes, violent crimes, and terror-related crimes.
I think all three of them should go for my idea of a big blender in the Dow Square for those sort of crimes. I'm sorry. I do not have any sympathy for sex crimes.
Yeah. No, I have little sympathy for it.
Obviously, what I'm saying is hypothetical. I think I would probably... I wouldn't go and attend the weekly Let's Blender PEDA. I probably wouldn't attend them. But I think we should be... Some crimes we should be a bit harsher on. I don't know how we could be harsher, because I'm not going to say, like, condone let's torture people for these crimes. Like, that's a bit of a step too far.
Yeah.
But, like...
Yeah, definitely. I think it's just... It's interesting, and we have done this for a long time. It sounds like, we're just going to release prisoners. We have been doing this for a long time, and that was it. I was trying to remember what it was. There was also that the people that are released are then monitored. So they are then monitored. They do then have to check in with parole officers regularly. They do still have certain limitations on their liberties, of their freedoms. So there are still things. It's not quite as bad as it sounds when you say, well, they only have to serve 40% of their sentence.
Well, why don't we just do it so they serve 40% of their sentence and then they're on house arrest? Something like that, at least something.
Yeah, that's similar-ish to the style that they're looking to go in. But basically, it stems from that we've no prisons, basically, is what it stems from. With no spaces.
I think they've started using Airbnb. They're like the big lock. we're gonna pay shit to like double the money. We're going to like put a couple of prisoners in this house. I think it's like I should use a free market. That's it. Boom, done. Problem solved. Instant.
In prisons. Really, that's weird because I would have thought it'd be the opposite.
Yeah, the exact opposite.
Yeah, but what do I know? Anyway, the prison population of the UK. I went and looked it up. You're gonna like this. You're gonna love this. So on page 4, let me get down to page 4. There's a nice little graph where you can see that can we make that a bit bigger, please, Jack? Just so it's a bit more clear. So you can see in about 1997, something happened. The prison population spikes.
Didn't
Why
really
is
affect Scott? It's been spiked. It was spiked.
Yeah, it does.
Say anything since the 1940s.
Yeah.
Spiked. I mean, there's definitely been a spike about 1990, like 2-ish.
I mean, yeah, definitely increased in 1997, but
I wouldn't say it's.
No. So, yeah. And but what's interesting about this is change in UK prisons. So this is the percentage that it's growing at is increasing.
Oh, so okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so is it like it's increased by 100% from like 1996 to 1997, or is it since 1990? That's what they're trying to say. Because it seems to be that Scottish prisons have almost doubled in size since 1900 and rose 60% since 1990. Okay, so the graph is a little bit misleading, I'd say.
So it's total. It's rolling average. So it's from the 1900s. How much has it increased by?
Okay, that makes sense.
So it's not growing at a rate of 400%. It's a very misleading graph.
Yeah, it's grown 400% since 1900. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say if it was growing 400% every year, that is state of emergency level shit. I'm sorry.
Well, wouldn't you also? Yeah. Wouldn't you also expect those? So if you look at the graph, right, when you expect that it becomes exponential, right, because as the percentages get higher, for there to be, say, doubling the prisoners, you need to be going by more percentage. So when you expect that to be like getting steeper as well.
Well, you'd hope that crime would stick to a same level of a certain amount of crime that will happen. If they made this to like representative to like per populace, it's like this is how many people are in prison per 1,000 people. That would probably be a bit more clear. But I think what they're trying to say is like more people come into the country, more people are committing crimes, and we haven't got the infrastructure.
No, I mean,
crime.
I don't think it's necessarily more people. I think just we have more people. We have more criminals like that.
They're trying to show off.
Yeah, potentially.
As much, did it?
No, but it still went up.
It still went up, but
in England and Wales, though, in the late 90s, something happened.
Must have been those
some Labour MPs did something.
Yeah.
No, I think it must have been those Labour tough on crime policies.
But,
that must have been it.
Quite possibly, but we do have the numbers. Foreign nationals make up 12% of the prison population.
Does that mean they're like? So I don't know.
12% of foreign nationals.
No, they say that foreign nationals are 12% of the prison population.
Yeah, sorry, yeah.
But like, is this like foreign nationals like they're here legally?
Let's search up.
Like, would I count as a foreign national? I've got my citizenship eventually, but I've passport.
Foreign national, any person who is not a national of a specific country. So, are you a French?
I'm a French
national.
I'm a French citizen, French nationality, but I've got the English citizenship.
I don't know. I think you could be classed as that. I think you could also not be classed that. But it could also mean people that have, American passports. They're here more than legally, but they're an American citizen.
Okay. So it's not 12% of them are illegal immigrants or whatever.
No.
Okay.
And people of ethnic minorities make up 27% of the prison population, compared to the 18% of the general population. So the question is, why are they here? Why?
Just because they're from minority ethnicities does not mean that. I think lumping those two together are two different arguments. Number one should be foreign nationals make up 12% of the prison population. Why are they here? That's the first argument. And the second argument is minorities making up 30% of the population and they're that is two things you should not lump together. And we could talk about
absolutely.
Obviously, I would say.
Yeah, I think the most important thing here is we need to separate causation and correlation. Yes. They're different. Correlation does not equal causation.
It's been 1,000 times over. It's probably things to do with where they live and sort of issues that they have with. Because there is.
Well, we have a So like take the ethnic minorities, right? We have a disproportionate amount of ethnic minorities in poverty compared to white people.
Yeah,
we have that and we know that poverty is causated with crime and not just correlated. We also know though that people are more likely to be stopped if they're from poorer areas. People are more likely to be stopped if they are from an ethnic minority. That these numbers are. I've never once been stopped and searched in my life, and if I did, I would also say like where I live basically, and odds are they would leave me alone, kind of thing. I
think very few people have been stopped and searched unless you're in London. If you're in London, I think it's the only place where it's really happening. You're not getting that like Edinburgh, maybe.
No, well, yeah, and I think the point is though that they patrol areas from poorer backgrounds with higher ethnic minorities. They catch more crimes. It's the whole thing,
and it makes sense for the police people to do it because if these areas are with more poorer people who are more likely to commit crimes, having people there, but it does sort of compound on that issue of these poorer people being
But I think it's just really important that immediately, I mean, from my perspective anyway, and I hope your perspective as well, that we're ruling out the notion that like ethnic minorities are more violent inherently.
Jesus Christ, no. Jesus.
Good.
Yeah,
I just, you have to check nowadays, don't you?
I don't think you have to check that. I think if we have to start checking that.
No, I knew you. Yeah, but definitely, I want to make it clear for the internet, the world.
Yes, big friends with like minorities, man. Pretty sure with them. Fucking like love it, man.
Yeah.
Just, Charlie's not saying anything about it, so he might not be tired about with it, but
I'm tight.
Housing foreigners in our prisons disproportionately. Well, that's a great question. Really, Party, you know what? That's a good point. We do need to save money. So actually, Labour are going to deport the foreign criminals.
I think that makes sense.
That could be a good argument. Yeah. Potentially. I think there are some problems with it, right? If they've committed a crime, so do they need to be treated by us? Potentially.
The punishment is
they're in our country.
You don't want to be there, so the punishment is you going back there.
Yeah, but there's a strong argument to be made that they're stay. If a French citizen committed a crime, we send them to the French authorities.
Yeah, I think that's what would happen in most cases is they would get sent back to these authorities. But there obviously would be cases where maybe like they get sent back to their home country and the home country just doesn't give a shit about prosecuting them for what they did in English soil.
Yeah, that is potentially an issue, I guess. Maybe
it's hard to deal with. Maybe like a small punishment, then they get sent back.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want like someone coming on holiday from Amsterdam, then like doing prostitution because it's okay back there. So if we then sent them back, nothing would happen.
Or even if it was a crime, like even if it was like sexual assault in England, and they go back to their home country, and the government's like not really bothered,
and it's like we don't care. Yeah.
So it's free to.
The Conservatives could have done this. They could have done that. 14 years.
All of this, I just want to say, I wait to see before it happens.
Sure, but I think that they probably will do.
Like,
You see, this is like this is what we were saying earlier about the bad faith. Like the obviously the lead host, right, is making a very good point that the Conservatives could have done this and they didn't. And then the guy in the middle with the blue background, he's just going, well, they might not do it. They might not do it yet. And it's like, well, if they're saying they're going to do it, like take them at their words, or like, do you know what I mean? We're talking about the concept of it. They're weighing it up here.
Is it bad faith or defeatism, though, is the issue? I think it could be very much 50-50 on both.
Yeah, but I think it's largely bad faith. I think it's just going, but it's Labour, so they won't actually do something that I like, like what they were saying earlier. But, maybe I'm being bad faith here to him.
Well, again, let's let this pan out. Give it a couple of years.
Yeah. Let's
hope and pray that this does occur. If it is a good plan, then I hope it does go through.
Smashing the boat gangs. Great, you're saying it, but the Tories said it. Wait till it actually happens.
Okay, so that sounds more defeatist because say, look, the Tories said it too, and they didn't do shit.
Yeah,
as it's not like Labour doing it. So therefore, if anything, it could be that because the government said it, therefore jack shit's going to happen. Which is, I think a growing percent of the population which just need to be addressed of a government that seems useless.
Absolutely, yeah.
Then I will give credit where it's due.
The Tories didn't even say it, though. They didn't say they were going to smash the boat gangs. They said they were going to stop the boats.
Right.
And the Tories are the ones who allowed so many foreign criminals to take up so much space in our prisons. This is 10,422 foreign nationals in jail. Personally, I'm in favour of bringing back scourging. Right? So I just think that if you're a foreign national with crime Britain, you'd be flogged and deported immediately, right? I don't think that's unreasonable.
Okay.
I think it's.
But yeah, so
flogging combined with deporting.
Well, it's kind of what I was saying of like a small punishment, then you go. But I think maybe not flogging.
Yeah, but not flogging. But not flogging.
Again, I think he's speaking in. Is it what rhetoric? I think he's being a bit hyperbolic.
Yeah.
I think what if we boil down what they're trying to say?
Metaphorical flogging.
Metaphorical flogging, then send them back up, or just another punishment similar to that, where it's like it's a thing that can be done quickly.
Potentially, I can potentially understand the arguments for a lot of these. Yeah.
Yes. Well, see, would you have been exposed to this if we didn't do SpinCycle here today?
No, actually, I wouldn't. Well,
I think
I've not heard anything about this. Yeah. No, greatly useful.
This seems so fantastic.
Also, I've just received a text. And I don't know if we want to talk about this for a brief intermission in our podcast, but Joe Biden has stepped down. He is no longer running for presidency.
I don't believe you one fucking bit. Sorry, give me one moment.
Yeah.
I'm opening up Twitter. If the first post to see on Twitter is not that.
It's true. I've got the letter from him. Search up his account on Twitter.
For God's sake, I've got loads of these posts aren't that. Shit.
Search up, just search up Joe Biden. And then my fellow Democrats have decided not to accept the nomination. So he's not running.
So Kamala's running instead, which makes more sense because she is like 30 years younger. I am fine with that.
Yeah. And his VP, she's good. I like her.
We know. I think I can make a pretty good guess of what's happening in the media at the moment. I think it's not going to work out for Democrats this election term.
Yeah, I mean we'll have to see. I don't put too much of my predictions up on the internet, but we'll have to see definitely. I think there's still hope for Democrats, but.
I had never seen a single person in England voice support for Donald J. Trump until this whole assassination attempt thing. Now, if we're getting support in England, and England is like more left-wing than America is as a country as a whole, so like I feel like it's going to be like, I would assume it's going to be a big difference, big swing. Of course, this is all predictions. I can't tell the future at all. Probably going to be wrong. Please clip me when I'm wrong.
See, this is why I'm avoiding predictions, but you could potentially be right. Yes.
Or we could all just die tomorrow. That's another prediction. If I'm wrong, anyway, back to
let's carry on with the video. Yeah,
this is 12%. This is 12% of all prisoners, which is costing the taxpayer nearly £500 million a year. Again, why didn't the Conservatives do this?
Point of contention. Would that be a public flogging?
Well, yeah.
Perhaps in Marble Arch, somewhere like that.
I think that anyone who's flogged for committing a crime, a violent crime, should be flogged in public, obviously. And there are still...
That's the difference. Because that's going more on my blender.
Yeah, this is talking about actual flogging, which just inhumane and barbaric. I'm trying to think of a good faith argument here.
Isn't it inhumane and barbaric to commit sexual crimes on people, though?
Absolutely, which is why they should be punished for it, but not in an inhumane way. So like we already take away their civil liberties.
Otherwise, there's no difference.
Exactly.
We've got which is literally just mob rule again, which is.
But the thing is, I strongly disagree with the death penalty, but I can understand some arguments for it.
Okay.
But flogging. I mean, I would rather get flogged than go to jail for 10 years. Much rather get flogged. Like, it doesn't even work as a deterrent. There's nothing.
Yeah,
Really, you know?
Well, would you?
I'd rather be flogged than pay a hefty fine that I can't afford and have to go into debt to try and afford the fine, you know?
Here's my weird opinion. I don't think it should be. I think fines for crimes is literally just means it's just a limiter. It just means if you're rich enough, you can get away with it. That's the whole thing of a fine.
No, I completely agree with you there, actually, yeah.
I think they should replace fines.
It literally, it's like a sliding scale of like, well, the richer you are, the less of a crime this is.
Either fraudulent income, which still can be avoided. If you're mega rich, then you've got Cayman Islands.
Yes.
Or you have to do 400 hours of forced labour for the government.
Yeah. Or fines could work if we did. It's a percentage of your combined assets and income. You know, as you said. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you can't say like, 10% of your combined assets and income. That is going to be a life-altering amount for anyone.
Yeah, maybe less, but you could work it out. You know, maybe 5% of your income that year. You know, or something like that. That's just a tax bump up, basically.
Where would that money go?
You know,
go into the government as a whole. I think
they're going to the government. Yeah. I mean, you could even ring fence it like it goes into being spent on policing or something like that.
Yeah, go back into policing. But then the issue with that is then it's an incentive for police and police unions to then try and get more criminal arrests because then they get more pay cut.
Oh yeah, but not necessarily to their paycheck, but like, you know, to get more police on the streets and stuff like that.
Like
I don't know, maybe into prisons
20% of whatever the fine is goes towards like, okay, it's domestic abuse thing, and then it goes into charities to domestic abuse by force. It has to go into these sort of cases for it.
Yeah. So if it's a fine for domestic abuse, then it goes to help fund a charity that helps combat domestic abuse. Yeah. That's a great idea.
Like a government committee on it or something like that, because then otherwise, then the whole thing is with then there could be a business incentive from less scrupulous fucking charities.
Yeah,
there's so many fucking things why I can't do politics, can't do government, because there's so many ways that people can be corrupted, and they will be corrupted. People just
there is. I don't necessarily think will be, but I do think power corrupts over time.
Yes.
Definitely.
And money.
Many market towns across the country still have public stocks.
Yeah.
That are out and available in public squares. I mean, there's no reason we can't use them.
Yeah. So generally on immigration, though, Labour have been very cagey about the numbers, as in they haven't given us any numbers. They've got an immigration policy in their manifesto. They've got 3 basic points, which are we're going to boost Britain's skills. So they're going to bring in people to fill skill gaps. They're going to reform the points-based immigration system. I'm not sure how that's going to work.
Very easily. It's sort of like, are you an asset or are you a? Or something like
well, no. So they're saying Labour wants to change the current point-based system.
Oh, I should add more points to make more things more qualified. Qualified, or is it? Do you think it'll be more of a? You want to?
I believe I saw something about potentially upping the amount someone has to get paid to get a job here, or to count as a work visa, or something like that. I don't know. Labour are quite vague on it at the moment still.
It is early days, to be fair.
And you know what, I'll concede this point in the interest of cooperation that definitely Labour's plans so far for immigration is we want to cut it and reduce it, but apart from setting up a border force, they haven't explained how.
They want to decrease illegal migration, increase legal migration, but also decrease illegal migration at the same time. It's not.
But they haven't really said how as well, or numbers or anything. But
yeah, I think a good 60-page PDF. Here's things we're going to do. Opinions, please. Some of that.
Potentially, yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and they're going to ban hiring from overseas for employers and recruitment agencies who break employment law. But they're not giving.
Is that not already illegal?
Don't know. I actually don't know.
I would assume so. Maybe they're changing the laws, and then.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope it's illegal, and if not, I'm glad it will be made illegal.
Because it's also not good. It's also not good for those who are working illegally because they have no safety nets.
Exactly. Employment laws are good. We have them for a reason.
But we should bring back child labour because clearly children you earn for the mine. Otherwise, they wouldn't play Minecraft. It's just true.
Bring any numbers, any targets, or anything like that. So Who knows? I think the legal immigration is still going to be through the roof.